Automation improves the communication when things are digitized, when it's automated. Multiple people in multiple locations. It doesn't even have to be in the same office. It can be, you can have offices across the world. I've been a part of organizations where we had offices in the Philippines, Shanghai, Hong Kong, the United States, Europe, Africa, and I had different teams in each of those locations, and yet we could all talk the same thing and reference the same document because it was digitized and it was automated. It improves the communication, the understanding, and the accuracy, and reduces the amount of time to get answers. And really, in the finance world, we are dealing with time. Because what is the number one thing that we as finance leaders say, I need more time? We're working 70, 80 hours a week already. I need more time. In order to get more time back to us, we need to shrink and compress that time before it gets to us. Okay? It strengthens data security. How many have been tasked with data security in their organization? Ooh, I think this is the first one. None of you have been tasked with data security? The IT does not roll up to you? Ooh, this is interesting. In all the organizations I've been involved with, IT is rolled up to the CFO. Data security is very important. It's one of the hot buttons within finance and accounting right now. Is how secure is your data? How secure is my accounts payable data? How secure is my fixed asset, my inventory? Just the data. How secure is that data? Through automation, technology, you can secure your data. Okay? Reducing costs. Reducing costs, that's one of the favorite words that we like to do with. Hey, Jeff, you need to cut 10% somewhere. Find it. We just found it. But it's a cost reduction. Technology can run, and technology, and again, there's trade-offs. Human labor, technology, they both coexist. But the technology and the savings we come is time. When you save time, your efficiency improves. And here, test number 2. Is everybody ready? I started to see the head nods. Who has read the book, The Goal? Standard reading in accounting classes, right? Back in the old day it was. So what was the purpose of the book? Anybody? Find bottlenecks or constraint theory, right? And the team can only go as fast as the slowest, right? Herbie. There you go, Herbie. That's right. The team can only go as fast as the slowest individual or slowest output. Okay? Finance and accounting, we are tired of being Herbie. We need to be faster. Okay? And so if we can do more with the same amount, we've moved the constraint to somewhere else. The theory of constraints. We move the constraint to we move it over to sales. That's really where we want to move it to, is sales. We want to move all the constraints to it's sales problem. Not ours, it's sales. Go yell at them. Okay? Moving that constraint and that bottleneck allows efficiency, more volume. You can do more with less. That's one of the whole things that technology is all about. Okay, there's your cost improvements. All right, Application Programmable Interface. That's a mouthful. In other words, API. Who's familiar with APIs? I'm hoping a lot of us are, because APIs are one of our friends. API allows important, critical data to flow between different interfaces, platforms, and programs. Who has a separate inventory management system than their general ledger? You raise your hand. So if you want detail of your inventory, you have to go to a separate program, right? What a bottleneck, what a constraint, right? It takes additional time, right?
Yes.
Okay. Who has a different system for all their POs? Yeah. Who has a different system for AP? AR? Fixed assets? We have all these different systems. Okay, here's a good one. Your CRM package. Is that tied to your financial package? Not really, right? APIs allow all that data to flow between all those different systems, so the communication is there. So what does that do for us? Number one, it allows one stop for entry. You enter at one, it populates everywhere else. You don't have to have data entry in this system, in this system, in this system, in this system. Cost savings number two, right? Data entry only once. Accuracy improvement number two. Okay, APIs, critical. Okay. Robotic process automation, bots or Autobots. Okay. How many right now have bots? How many know what a bot is? We have one, two, we have a couple, yeah. How many have bots, though, that you use on a daily basis? All right. Okay, let me ask this question. How long does it take to reconcile a cash account? 1 day? 2 days? 3 days? A week? Should it take that long? I will tell you, no, it should not. Organization I was with, when I got there, it took 15 days to reconcile the one bank account. It was their operating account. Large volume. A lot of large volume. Okay? As of today, that reconciliation takes 6 hours. That's the power of bots. Okay? That's just one bank account. Now, if your organization has many bank accounts, multiply that. You might have a payroll account, just an operating account, just many different types of accounts. Compound those. How many days and how many hours are you saving? Okay? Part of the attractiveness and part of the benefit of bots is it takes away manual entry. I happened to do some eavesdropping before we started. Someone back here was talking about they have a bot that can read PDF documents. Okay? Is that a new concept? Has anybody heard that before? I have. Okay. I was with an organization that 20 years ago we started automating the AP process. I was on a BPO project for a very large organization, and we were scanning invoices as they came in. Once the scan was complete, it was read by OCR, and that OCR populated the AP input function. No human interaction involved at all. we had it down to a 95% accuracy. Not bad, right? Not bad. Those are the things that these Autobots can do. They can reconcile banks, they can do AP, they can do AR, they can do inventory, they can also work in conjunction with our APIs and moving data back and forth between systems, keeping it current and up to date. These are your friends. These bots are your friends. These APIs are your friends. Okay? It also, using a bot, reduces double entry and data entry errors. How many of you have been reviewing your general ledger and you find this very weird transaction? It's very strange because it's in an account that normally has like $100, $200 in there. And somehow in this account there appears this $9,999,999.99 item. Have you seen those before? All of us have seen something like that before. But these bots eliminates those errors. It eliminates the corrective time that it takes. You see those items and you're like, oh geez, got to go find who did this. And you pass on to your controller and say, hey, go take care of this. And they look at you like, what's wrong with it? Well, never mind, I'll take it back. And you go track down and say, okay, pull this document. So they go to the floor below where all the filing cabinets are, and they pull the document. Oh yeah, it was $9.99. Then it's got to go all the way back through the corrective process. Okay? There are so many things that we can do. Okay? All right. As finance and accounting professionals, we are at the cusp of the next generation of change. Just as the advent of the modern day computerized accounting system changed our profession, it changed from handwritten ledgers. Do I have anybody that actually did that, handwritten ledgers? Only in college? This pretty face I have is older than it looks. When I first came out, yes, we had handwritten ledgers. We are on the cusp. We need to adapt and be ahead of this change, or we are going to be left behind. So again, I'm asking the question, inventory yourself. Do you have the skills in-house? Do you have the technology in-house? Do you have the processes and policies and controls in place? Do you know where to look to find those? Those are all part of this conversation, a much bigger process. Don't be satisfied where you are currently. Don't be satisfied. Just because it works doesn't mean it can't be improved. And now finally for the exam that I promised each of you. Okay. Hopefully you will have passed this exam if you have written down 3 things. Number 1, technology is important. We need to adopt it. Okay. Number 2, we shouldn't be satisfied with where we're at. And number 3, I gave you 4 items that are currently on our radar for technology advances that will be changing our industry very quickly in the next year or so. Cloud technology is being one of those. APIs, bots, okay? And AI and machine learning, those 4. If you wrote those down, those are the most important thing I hope that you learned today. As they are changing our industry, they are changing how we study to become accountants, how we become CPAs, how we become senior finance executives. It is changing how we do our job. It is changing from what we learned in college to what we actually do today. It has changed us. And we need to continue to change, or we change professions. We probably don't want to change professions because we like what we do. Okay? We like to ask silly jokes like, why did the accountant cross the road? It's because it was what we did last time. Because that's who we are. So you pass the exam if you wrote those things down. Appreciate your coming. Thank you for attending the summit today. Hope you had a good time. Hope you enjoyed the jokes. Hope you learned something. Any questions you may have, I'm here to answer any questions before the next arrangement. Yes?
So bots, AI, machine learning. Walk us through from the finance leader, CFO seat, how are we supposed to buy this? Should we be developing it in-house? Are there key vendors that we should know? Are there, walk us through the procurement of these services, if that makes sense.
That's a very good question. How do you procure this technology? Okay, there are 3 places. Okay, number 1, there are professional consulting companies.
That one sounds the most expensive.
Not necessarily. Okay. There's one here in the room. I'm just going to point them out. Premier Computing. They're here. They have bots. They have machine learning. They have artificial intelligence. They also have ERP systems. We didn't even talk about ERP systems. They do cloud computing. They do hosting. All those things. Okay? That's one. Number 2, your banks. Your banks can do some of this for you. Okay? But it's somewhat limited because of what the bank does. They tackle cash in, cash out, right? So that's going to be primarily around what they have. Okay? The third one is I'm always available to answer any question, off hours, anytime. This is what I do. This is what my finance and accounting career has come. I've done implementations in scores of companies, from startups to multinational public companies. I was one of the very first individuals that dealt with Sarbanes-Oxley, getting that implemented. And I did it with a little company by the name of Xerox. And so I'm more than willing to share my knowledge with you about that. Okay, great question. Anyone else? Anybody else dare to ask a question? Yes?
You mentioned banks. What do you mean with the banks? How can they help acquire this?
Say that
The
again.
bots.
I don't.
Just you mentioned banks. The question about how to use bots or purchase bots.
Okay.
Like where the bank's role in that. Like what are you?
Okay, that's a great question. The bank. Okay, the bank can send you a feed, a daily feed of transactions, right? That's one way. And that can be loaded through an API into your accounting system, eliminating the need for entry, the need to eliminate, because a bot can actually do your bank reconciliation for you with that feed.
So is there another provider? Is that exchange considered the bot, or is there another provider?
That's the input into it, okay? You have to have the bank feed to do that input, okay? Just like any manufacturer, you have an input to get an output, right? So a bank feed is part of that, okay? Banks also, they are doing a lot of this. They will print your checks for you.
Is that considered a bot?
the bot there is you upload a file for them, and they have a bot in-house that takes that data and converts it into images to either print or send via ACH. That is their bot. Okay? They also have a portal. Most of them have portals for company credit cards that has a bot on the back end that provides you with specific data that tailored to what you want. Okay?
So that all encompasses, when you say bot, that's what you're referring to, some of those processes.
Yep, some of those, you had a question.
Yeah, I was just going to add that banks can do AP and AR automation. They can help you on that.
The AR automation is the lockbox, right? Lockbox. The AP, they do this a flat file, right? You can just load a flat file, then they can either do the ACH or cut a check. There's a lot of different automation there as well. Great question. Thank you, everyone, for your time. Oh, well, we have another question back here.
Unfortunately, with our organization, we usually use Excel, and so one of the things that's been holding us back from bots is we've been afraid that if we take the data streams from whatever the bots provide, that then we'll just have to refabricate all of our beautiful Excel models, and that is just, we're getting in our own way. Do you have any suggestions with how to not get in our own way with that?
That's a very good question. That's a loaded question, my friend. All of us in here love Excel. We do. We grew up on Excel. We started instead of playing with trucks and stuff, we started with Excel. But we need to move beyond Excel. Excel has its place. It has a place. But there are bots that can use Excel as well. If you're tracking inventory in Excel, there is a bot for that. If you're using it for AP and AR, there's a bot for that, but I would also recommend moving to a computerized accounting system. Great question. But it has to be an initiative. There has to be a champion in your organization to lead that. There has to be a champion. You might be that individual. Anyone else? Thank you again for your time, and enjoy the rest of your day.